You caught the vibe?
I did.
Just making sure you didn't say virus.
Yo, what up, 9:10 in the morning? It's 9:10 a.m. once again. I told you I was going to move seats. I'm over here now.
So early.
Still wearing the same thing, but
Or it's tomorrow and we just decided to wear the same thing again.
we switched.
Except me.
We switched.
I'm just
We
here.
stayed. Anyways, we're picking it up. Lord's Prayer. If you missed yesterday's, just hop back.
It's weird because we're still in today.
It's my
Or
thumbs.
scroll down. That's what
Scroll.
they would do.
Yeah.
It might actually be a lot more clicks than
Swipe
we might
right.
be underselling it right now.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. But
term.
yesterday we talked about how we can approach God as Father, and we're talking about prayer. And I think
Yes.
the challenge this week is to talk about prayer because, frankly, I kind of suck at praying. And I know that I want to pray more than I currently do. And especially in seasons like this where I have way more time than I typically have.
So much time.
Like, what is a Saturday night in Vista without going to church?
I don't know.
That was my first in like 3 years. Sunday morning, I had people over for breakfast.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Do you normally eat on Sundays?
Wow.
No, I just drink coffee and
Starve
hang out with
ourselves.
Fuel up.
you guys, 9th and 10th
The
graders.
lengths
you
we
know?
go for you.
I might even get to hang out with Tanner Ross on a weekend here
It's-
pretty soon.
I live with him. It's not that great.
Doubtful.
He's the mastermind behind every single one of these.
Hear that
videos
evil
coming
laugh?
to
Was
you.
it me and you texting about Tanner asleep? Oh no, it was me and Kale. Hi, Kale.
Oh, I feel very uninvolved
Hi,
in
Sean.
that whole scenario. that
Anyways.
I
didn't
wasn't
partake
included
in.
at all. So don't
But
worry.
yeah, we get to approach God as Father, which we talked about yesterday, and then the next line is, "Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name," right? Like separate, apart. We don't really use that word hallowed, but Sean, what is hallowed be your name? What does that have to do with prayer? Why does Jesus use that to
Yeah.
teach us how to pray?
It's weird because I feel like it's definitely one of those words that you're like, no one uses that at all
Right.
ever in our culture. But
Except Nate Alexanian.
yes,
Like, those waves were
Hallowed.
hallowed.
or when the offshores are howling.
Facts.
Like
Surfers,
a
you know. Yeah, I think it's like even coming out of last week where we talk about or not last week, yesterday. This is weird.
This day's felt like
This
a
is throwing me
year.
off. What a long year it's been today. And yeah, we talk about being able to confidently approach God as a father and playing that role of son or daughter. And there's like a lot of confidence and relationship that's found in prayer. And yet the next thing that he describes God as is hallowed, which means holiness. Like it's talking about God's majesty and like the power that he has and the holiness, the set apartness, the difference that he is, and to approach prayer in that sense as well. But also in the spirit of this prayer, it's requesting like, hallowed be your name in my life. Like, don't just be like the thing I talk to in the morning, but would you be God today? Would you be different? Would you be holy? Would you be set apart? And I think the cool thing about inviting that into your prayer life is that like as you request God to be holy in your sight and to be like your whole day changes because of that. Like, and I think we struggle to understand that because we don't like who do we have to compare with God? There's like, yeah, I think what's been really helpful for me is to think of like, what if I had the like whole day to spend with the Queen of England, which I think is funny, but also if
That would
you
be
really,
so boring.
or she could be wild.
Maybe she's really good at ping pong.
He's not wild.
We don't know.
Every photo she's ever taken is like,
Yeah, she's probably really boring. But Queen of England, if you're watching this,
we're sorry.
I'm down.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Yeah.
down.
I
Let's hang.
apologize.
We'll kick it. But
I think she's single. You could be the king of England.
I'm in. I'm done.
Sean for king.
I love it.
Sean.
Queen, if you're listening,
Anyways.
let's chat. But yeah, if you were to spend the day, I think as much as we just joked about it, the reality of that day would be that, right, like I don't act the way I normally act if the Queen is around. Like if I'm spending the day with her, there's a respect that I have for her. There's like almost a reverence where you feel the weight of her authority and like the tone of my language, the questions that I would ask her, the things that I say around her, the way that I refer to her, like my day would change because of her presence. And yet I think that's the same thing that's happening in that request of hallowed be your name. Lord, would you be holy? Would you be different? Would your presence and your power and your might and majesty and glory change who I am today? And I think that's the heart behind that prayer of going, God, hallowed be your name to me.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool, like, dichotomy or like comparison between the two, right? Like Father,
Yeah.
holy be your name.
There's a tension.
It's like if somebody in authority, like whatever you think about Donald Trump, like good or bad, if you were in the presence of the president, there would be a difference. Like,
Totally.
Or take like an old president, like take a JFK or a Theodore Roosevelt, that there was probably less of a controversial view on. And if he had held this place of authority and yet he was your dad, it'd be like this weird combination of you're around him, there's a respect and there's like security around him and people watching, but you walk up to him and you're like, yeah, but it's dad.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's my father, and that's such a cool tension to hold in prayer, to walk up to God and go, wow, if, as Proverbs says, fear is the beginning of wisdom, there should be an appropriate fear and respect and understanding as you understand he is majestic and set apart. And yet there's still that father. That's a cool tension to hold today. So, yeah, cool challenge. We love you guys a lot. Again, today, take some time. Spend some time in prayer, and that doesn't have to be, hands clasped before a meal. Like, just take a moment and unplug. Maybe pull out the headphones, pause the music, put your phone in the other room, and just go, I'm going to practice this. And maybe it's 2-3 minutes. Maybe it's 10 minutes. Just do more than you did yesterday. And that's a challenge for us. That's our challenge for you. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Queen of England.
I really hope she watches.
I hope.
Sporty.
I'll have a lot more money.
Peace.